Let's talk about reincarnation. Part 2. In this second video we will discuss some beliefs in reincarnation. As what I said to my previous video, this information is not mine. I just pick and consolidated it from our source and extract this information on a specific topic. You maybe hear some religions in our culture that claim the possibility of reincarnation of human spirits into animals and insects. This concept is totally wrong. But one thing I know. A humanoid will always be incarnated as a humanoid. Race does not change. Frequency of your aura takes you to the exact level you can reach. Not below, nor above. You cannot pay, or bribe anyone for a ticket to a better place than the one that is reserved for the frequency of your aura. If you made a cross hybrid between races, this result may receive elements of the two original races in the incarnations of their future generations. There are another interesting detail is that while in the third dimension, all male spirits are always male and the female, always female. This may be news to you, but it is well known for millennia of the advanced races. Even though the spirits are of the same breed, the male and female are two different entities in concept formation. The animals have a collective soul, having no individual souls as intelligent beings. When they die, they return to their collective souls, returning to be reborn in their specific strains. If there are crosses of different breeds of animals, species merge into a new collective soul that may receive and include members of the original races. There are no children among the disembodied third dimension, are all adults because there is no concept of age in the fourth dimension. You can see them, and talk to them and hug them, but will never be the children you've met here. But do not worry about it, you'll remember many fathers, mothers, partners and brothers who you have already had. But what will happen if took my own life? It all depends on local conditions. If they have the healing resources available, it would be totally illogical to interrupt a life. But if those resources do not exist, then the discontinuity of suffering procedure is interpreted as a last remedy to be administered. Persons who sign authorization to shut down devices or to be eliminated will receive the results in their auras according to the actual intention of that act. If it is biased suicidal, the characteristics of the aura will be affected, and when reincarnated will go where the frequency of its aura is compatible automatically, as always without judgments or judges. If you know that the suffering of that being will be in vain because healing is impossible, then the help in the physical detachment may be necessary and applicable. Another case is when brain death is actually detected. It means that the quantum energy that occupied that enclosure is no longer there and only instruments will continue to keep the envelope functioning. In this case there is also no logic in maintaining this process. Why you cannot remember your past life? You cannot remember because your memories are in another dimension, in the fourth. When you incarnate in the third dimension, you have the freedom to develop without the weight of previous information. That is what makes the magic of the development of our aura. If you remembered everything you have done or not done in past incarnations, you would spend the next incarnation worrying or blaming yourselves, and you would not have time or head to develop. If the caterpillar grows well, it produces a more perfect butterfly, which in turn will generate a better caterpillar, and so on. There is a zone between the third and the fourth dimension that you would call limbus, or border zone, in which the vast majority of disembodied spends some time before the rescue of blue beings into the fourth dimension and the consequent rescheduling to the next reincarnation. This intermediate zone is obligatory passage as layers to be transfixed. It's the only way to set the stage that you will continue your development as being. As an example, say you passed away now, and you have outstanding issues or things to fix, that's still disrupting your aura. If your frequency is too low, you will wake up in the periphery of this zone, that is, in the shadows, away from light. These suburbs are where gather all the spirits with dark aura, harmful, violent, animalistic and misfits, is a place that you could call as a living hell. These remain in that periphery until they develop their consciences enough to wake up in a better neighborhood and so continue the path. You see, when your quantum energy leaves the physical body of the third dimension, it is in an protoplasmic state that is very close to the physics still matter. You still keep all your senses as hunger, thirst, pain, heat, cold and vices because you are still very close to the area you just leave. This intermediate zone is as if you were there physically. When you return from the dimension of the aura, you forget everything that happened there and also what happened before you moved there because those memories are in another dimension. You only bring back with you the characteristics of what you had achieved in development at your previous incarnation. This is printed on our gene. And your descendants will inherit our progress, as will a more advanced generation to come. When you die and return to the dimension of the planet's aura, you will remember it all again because you will be returning to that specific dimension where all your memories are. You might be wonder about the blue beings I mention. I have very few information about them. Even the level 5 race does not fully catalog their races. This is what he says. We do not really know their origin as they are extremely old and live in the auras of all the planets that support life. Their society is too advanced by our standards. You will see throughout your development that no matter how much more developed a race is, it still knows little about the universal context. Even being very advanced in relation to you, we're still crawling with respect to the truths of the universe. So do not worry. Someone already worried about everything. And you are only an integral part of something much larger. Any ethnicities of blue beings and light beings can open portals to the next dimension. But they will never interfere in our physical dimension. End of part 2. In the next video and final part of Life After Death, we will discuss about the fourth dimension and some evidences of reincarnation that our current science can't explain. See you on my next video. Thanks for watching. End of part 2.